Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to Michigan State University's Child Development Laboratories. I'm Lori Linscott, the director of the labs. Our mission here is to provide high-quality early care and education for children and families as a foundation for our teacher training program and outreach. The teachers at the CDL work with pre-service teachers, modeling best practice, mentoring their understanding of how children learn and develop, and the importance of building positive, reciprocal relationships with families. When MSU students graduate from the program, these new teachers often go back to their own communities to work. We need to look at ways to support teachers in the field of early care and education, as the impact and outcomes for children depends on the quality of programming they receive. The CDL collaborates with CACS Head Start, Hazlet Public Schools, Hingham Intermediate School District, as we have children enrolled who are funded by the State of Michigan's Great Start Readiness Program. For children, participation in a high-quality program leads to both short-term and long-term outcomes. Research shows that children who have access to high-quality preschool programs have lower rates of retention, repetition, higher graduation rates, and higher college attendance. Supporting these opportunities is an investment in the future. I am pleased that early childhood care and education is getting the attention it deserves. With that being said, it is my honor to welcome Governor Whitmer.
Thank you to Lori and everyone here at the CDL, the Hingham ISD, who is well represented here, and obviously to the legislative leaders and Mayor Duggan and Paula Cunningham. Glad to be up here with all of you. So I'm grateful to the MSU Child Development Lab opening up their doors so that we can talk about the critical issue of early childhood education. Every parent wants the best possible start for their child. And for many families, giving their kids a great start includes a preschool experience. In fact, my own girls went to preschool just down the road because we couldn't get into the CDL. The wait list was so long because it's such a phenomenal place. But finding the right place for your child can be challenging. All across the state, I know that there are parents who tried, like I did, to find the highest quality preschool opportunity they could find that was close to home and affordable. And optimizing these three factors, though, quality, location, and cost, is a challenge that is difficult or a complete barrier for a lot of families. So thankfully here in Michigan, we are fortunate to have a homegrown preschool program that takes a lot of the guesswork out of picking a quality, affordable program. Since the late 80s, hundreds of thousands of Michigan 4-year-olds have participated in the Great Start Readiness Program, a program that has been proven to improve opportunities and outcomes for our 4-year-olds. GSRP provides eligible families with a quality, no-cost program that works. Families primarily qualify based on income and must make less than 250% of the federal poverty level, or $66,000 per family of 4. Today, too many eligible kids are stuck on wait lists and unable to access the incredible opportunity because of a lack of funding. And that's just not acceptable. And that's why we are here today to propose an investment GSRP that eliminates wait lists and ensures every eligible 4-year-old can find a preschool spot in their community. Right now, in tandem with the Head Start program, GSRP provides preschool to over 43,000 Michigan kids. Unfortunately, there's 65,400 kids who need this opportunity. They are eligible, meaning over 22,000 kids are eligible for GSRP right now, but are not served. So we can ensure that every family in the state of Michigan has the option to enroll. This is going to cost about $152 million a year, and we can enroll approximately 17,400 additional kids in free preschool. I'm also proposing an additional $50 million in federal funds that we can use toward toward ensuring an adequate supply of providers, funding needed transportation costs, supporting early educators, and engaging in outreach efforts to provide parents with better information about the programs that are available to them. Investments in preschool pay massive dividends down the line. They improve the health, the educational and social outcomes for kids for decades. Their lifetime health and wealth is determined by those early years. In the short term, more kids will attend preschool and get a head start on their education with a current research-based curriculum. In the longer term, we will see improved literacy performance by third grade, narrowed achievement gaps between low and high income students, and higher high school graduation rates. Now, those outcomes don't happen by accident. They're part of a statewide commitment to quality, starting with our education educators at the Michigan Department of Education, intermediate school districts, and in every single classroom that is engaging across our state. So I want to thank you for everything that you are doing to create engaging learning environments for our kids. That commitment has continued at the state level too. Democrats and Republicans have championed GSRP and reliably invested in our youngest kids. Now is the time to make another significant investment on this front to include more 4-year-olds. GSRP is not only good for our kids, it's good for working families who need more safe, affordable options for their children while they work. Schools and community-based providers, like the one that I am visiting today, that you are all in attendance at, they're key partners in integrating quality, early learning with safe, quality care to ensure that our kids are safe, happy, healthy, and learning. GSRP expansion is a bipartisan priority because everyone, no matter their politics, knows that when we invest in our kids and give them every opportunity to succeed, we all succeed as a state. So there's a lot of reason to feel hopeful right now and optimistic. Our COVID cases are down. So are COVID deaths, and our unemployment rates as well are down. Vaccinations and job growth and consumer and small business confidence is up. And we're really have so much possibility in front of us. With the Michigan Economic Jumpstart Plan that I proposed last week, we can harness the energy and channel it to raise wages, invest in small businesses, and uplift families with meaningful childcare and preschool investments. In the coming weeks, I'll continue to lay out our bold investment around childcare and other issues that are so critical to our economic jumpstart. This forthcoming plan will continue to focus on keeping facilities open and opening new sites in communities who don't have enough options. It will also demonstrate how we can make care more affordable and raise child care professionals to pay. So I look forward to engaging with the legislature and local communities and Michiganders as we continue thinking through and working on our best ways to ensure an economic recovery, utilizing federal funds and state surplus to turbocharge this for everyone in the state. So thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over to my friend, Mayor Mike Duggan.
Well, thank you, Governor. 2 years ago, I spent a lot of time in Lansing, lobbying for universal pre-K for a full day for every 4-year-old in Detroit. And I got close, and it just missed at the end of the day in the appropriation process. I wasn't too discouraged, so I came back last year. And of course, I had the great support of the governor. I also had the support of Senator Ananich and Senator Mike Shirkey, who was strongly in favor, as were the Republican and Democratic leadership in the House. We were all said it was going to go for sure, and then COVID hit and blew the state budget apart. But it wasn't for a lack of commitment on the part of both Democrats and Republicans. When I came up this year, it's even better because I was pushing before for special funding for Detroit as a demonstration that later will get expanded to the rest of the state. The proposal you're seeing today is for pre-K for 4-year-olds across the state of Michigan, which is, of course, the right way to do it. And we need to be honest, the third grade reading scores in this state are not where we want them to be. And in Detroit, they're particularly troubling. There is nothing we could do more to give our children a better start to their education than as a 4-year-old to have full-day pre-K. A pre-K classroom has 18 students in it. It has a certified teacher. It has an associate teacher. It has a licensed caregiver. The amount of nurturing and education that goes on in a quality pre-K is life-changing. And in the city of Detroit today, we have 4,000 4-year-olds in full-day pre-K, but more than 1,500 who don't have a spot. And so what I propose, and I appreciate the bipartisan support, is that in the city of Detroit, we're going to create an office of early childhood education. And we are going to reach out to the pre-K providers today that have high ratings, 3 stars or more. We're going to add close to 100 new classrooms of those quality providers. We're going to create a book, we're going to create a website, and we're going to say to the parents of Detroit, here are options all across the city, and my hope is in the early part of next year, every single parent in this city with a 4-year-old will have really good pre-K option close to their homes. It'll mean a lot for parents who want to go back to work, who have that 4-year-old as the last one at home, but it will mean a lot to these children. So I just appreciate getting this nonstop. I appreciate the Republican and Democratic leadership. And I'm really hopeful I'm not standing here a year from now talking about trying to do this again. I think this is the year we're going to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you. There are a lot of fighters in this room, and I am one of them. It's so nice to be here for this occasion. You know, we often talk about helping people age with grace and with dignity and living their best lives, and that's critically important. We all know that. But it all starts here, right here with early childhood education. And this is the step one. This is step one in preparing a person to achieve success and to helping them reach their fullest potential. What we're doing today is the beginning. As the former president and CEO of Capital National Bank, I was privileged to serve as the statewide chair for the Early Childhood Education Council. And before leading AARP Michigan, I was also served as president of Lansing Community College. So I've had firsthand experience of exactly seeing educational outreach programs from preschool to post-secondary and beyond. I've also witnessed the competitive that employers have when they implement and embrace an early child care program. When the community commits to quality child care programming and quality lifelong education, everyone wins. Data has consistently shown that those who have exposure to early childhood education are far more likely throughout their personal and their professional careers. And I can recall when I was chairing the council, some folks said to us, well, child care isn't really our responsibility. However, I would remind all of us of the words of Frederick Douglass when he said, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Great Start Readiness Investment Plan is not only good for our children, and it's eliminating wait lists and providing every eligible child access to high quality preschool. It's also good for working families who need more safe, affordable options. And while they work, they need those options to be readily accessible. Every child from 0 to 5 years old deserves to have access to quality child care. Having 90% of all eligible children in Michigan be engaged in early learning is a laudable goal, and absolutely bodes well for the future of this great state and Michiganders of all ages. I am excited about what this means for our state and what this means for our nation. Extensive research has been done to bring to light disparities that exist in areas such as education, housing, financial security, transportation, healthcare, and other social determinants of health. And they all talk about education, they all talk about opportunity, and they all talk about access. Early childhood education is the key to eliminating many of those disparities later in life. A quality education and quality of life should start at the cradle and it should end at the grave. Everyone deserves the same opportunities for a great start to begin their lifelong journey. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. I'm Jim Ananich, Senate Minority Leader from Flint, but more importantly, I'm a proud MSU grad, but also a proud MSU teaching certificate grad. Almost 20 years ago, I finished my certificate in secondary education. I taught middle school and high school, and without question, every student I had, you could tell the preparation they got when they were 3, 4, and 5. And that level of preparation, or the level of preparation they didn't receive, carries with them. I was only able to do as much as the child was prepared when they came into my room. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Paula, and all of the staff at the MSU Child Development Lab for hosting us. I am pleased to be here with Governor Whitmer, Mayor Duggan, my colleague Donna Lasinski from the House, and all of you on this really important announcement. There is no better investment than our children. Bifocals, I got to take these off. Every child deserves a high-quality education, and a high-quality education starts early. What used to be new research is now accepted practice. We know that much of a child's brain development happens before they even reach kindergarten, affecting their cognitive, emotional, and social skills. I know this because I'm a former high school teacher. I've seen the long-lasting positive effects of early education and the struggles that some of my students have had because they didn't have access to these resources early on. Students who receive an early childhood education are more likely to be good readers, graduate high school, and get better paying jobs. Studies have even shown that students who get a jump start on their education are less likely to be incarcerated. That's how preschool can have on a person's life. The value of early education is undeniable, but currently only 66% of eligible children statewide are served by GSOP, or federal Head Start programs. For too many families, the cost for early education is too high, the wait lists are too long, or the opportunities are just not available. Governor Whitmer's plan removes these barriers. The plan eliminates wait lists, invests in staff and transportation, and ensures kids are being taught the curriculum that we know works. It will ensure that every eligible child has a place to learn before they start kindergarten. We know that education benefits become economic benefits. With their kids in school, more parents have time and resources to return to work. So I'll close with where I started. There is no better investment than our children. And I want to thank Governor Whitmer for making this a priority in our administration. Thank you. And with that, I will turn it over to my partner, the legislature, House Democratic Leader, Donna Lasinski.
Thank you, Senator Ananich, and thank you, Governor, for having us here today together. A lot of legislatures come to the idea to run for office because of something specific in their community. And this is such a great honor for me to be here today because it was more than a decade that I started working with the Early Childhood Investment Corporation and the Great Start Collaborative in Washtenaw County to really look at what it would take for each child to reach their full potential. My 3 sons attended a Title I elementary school, and it was in that first year in kindergarten where I was able to see up close and personal what it meant for a child to show up ready to start kindergarten. And to learn as the years went by that a child who starts behind rarely ends up ahead in a really deeply personal way. And so what I know in my heart is that every parent wants the best for their child, starting with an opportunity for high quality early childhood education. And children with families who are able to access top tier early childhood education, that's fantastic. But what we need to make sure is that every child has that opportunity. And today we are taking the step to make that opportunity happen for all children. The investment proposed here today would be an important step in narrowing that gap that we see between children in families of different income levels by ensuring that every 4-year-old has access to high quality education in their school with programs taught by quality staff, using proven and research-based curriculums by eliminating the wait list. We are making sure that our children don't have to wait for their future, that their future can begin today. This plan is an example of the bold actions that are needed to transform our education system, starting with our preschool system, and to level the playing field for our next generation. By ensuring that every Michigan child has a fair start, it will have all the lasting impacts you have heard about here today. And what we all know, deep in our bones and in our heart, is that every child deserves the chance to lead a successful life. And children who begin their education early have these increased literacy levels, graduation rates, and opportunities for them to seek out their fullest potential. I've been passionate about these needs for a long time, and I'm so proud to have one of my driving reasons bringing me to the legislature, to have terrific partners in that quest across the state, and for us to propose this investment that I look forward to voting yes on in the House chamber. I'm proud to stand here with Governor Whitmer today as we support this historic investment in the future of our children in our state. And I hope that when my sons, who are now at the terrifying age where the word grandma does kind of make me a little nervous, a couple years from now, walk their child into preschool and into kindergarten, as they look across the classroom, they'll know that every child in there has just as much preparation and is ready to reach their potential. Thank you so much.
Okay, folks, we have just a few minutes for a media Q&A with the governor or other speakers on early childhood education.
All right, let's get it started.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure, absolutely.
Former Mayor Kilpatrick is going to be preaching Sunday in Detroit.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, and are you attending?
I will be out of town, but former Mayor Patrick's been sharing his plans with me, and I think his call to the ministry is a very positive thing. And support.
Do you think it's a good thing for the city?
Yeah, this is he's guest preaching. It's not my place. He has announcements he's going to be making on his own, as you'll see. It's not my place to talk about his life plans, but he found the call to the ministry while he was in prison. I believe it's sincere. I think he's passionate about it, and I have no doubt he'll be very successful.
Do you keep in touch with him?
I've known him since he was 14 years old.
A question for both the governor and the mayor. There's been a big push from the Michigan Brain Injury Provider Council in the last several weeks regarding the fee schedule that will take effect July 1. Saying we're going to have a lot of people lose the care they're getting now. Something needs to be done. The fee schedule is too harsh. Could both of you address those concerns and whether you're open to or not any changes to the fee schedule?
The governor may have her own position. Mine is this. I used to run a hospital system, and Blue Cross